People say, oh, you don't like China. No, I love them. But their leaders are much smarter than our leaders. And we can't sustain ourselves with that. There's too much. It's like they are ripping us. We are rebuilding China. We're rebuilding many countries. China, you go there now, roads, bridges, schools, you never saw anything like it. They have bridges that make the George Washington Bridge look like small potatoes. And they're all over the place.
Jamaica, the land of wood and water, rum and reggae, beaches and global power struggles. Folks, the paradise you know and love has found itself smack dab in the middle of a geopolitical tug-of-war between China and the United States. And leading the charge on one end of the rope is none other than Donald J. Trump. But why does Trump, of all people, care about Jamaica's relationship with China? Stick around for this one because the twists and turns will blow your mind. And hey, before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the juicy details ahead. To understand Trump's beef with China's involvement in Jamaica, we need to talk about what's happening on the island itself. Over the past decade, Jamaica has become a hotspot for Chinese investments. We're talking major moves, highways slicing through mountains, luxury resorts popping up like coconuts, and the ambitious logistics hub initiative aimed at turning Jamaica into the Singapore of the Caribbean. China's Belt and Road Initiative has planted its flag firmly on Jamaican soil, with billions of dollars flowing in to finance infrastructure projects. But why Jamaica, you ask? Simple. Location. Jamaica sits at the crossroads of global trade routes, making it the perfect staging ground for Chinese exports into the Americas. By developing ports and logistics facilities here, China strengthens its foothold in the Western Hemisphere, positioning itself as a dominant player in global trade. For Beijing, this isn't just about Jamaica, it's about the bigger picture, expanding influence in the region. And that, my friends, is where Trump enters the chat.
China, 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 China.
You see, the US has traditionally seen the Caribbean as its backyard. Remember the Monroe Doctrine? The idea that the Americas are off limits to foreign powers. Well, China's investment spree in Jamaica has rubbed Washington the wrong way, and Trump's administration wasn't shy about expressing its discontent. Oh, and here's a fun little twist. Just a few years ago, America tried to sell the narrative that Jamaica wasn't the safest vacation spot. Warning tourists, trying to dim the island's shine. Coincidence? Or a calculated move to keep Jamaica dependent on Uncle Sam? Let me know in the comments what you think. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started. The irony here. Thicker than a plate of porridge, my friends.
China peddles corrupt infrastructure deals in exchange for political influence. Its bribe-fueled debt-trap diplomacy undermines good governments and threatens to upend the free market economic model on which so many countries depend, and which has lifted up hundreds of millions of people out of poverty.
The US argues that China's investments are a debt trap, that Jamaica and other nations are being lured into unsustainable loans that could lead to Beijing wielding undue influence over their economies. And let's be real, Washington's not exactly thrilled about the idea of China outcompeting them in their own sphere of influence. But here's the twist. While America has been busy wagging its finger, China has been delivering results. Take the North-South Highway, for example. It's now faster to zip from Kingston to Ocho Rios than it is to finish a plate of ackee and saltfish. Or the modernized Kingston Freeport Terminal, which has boosted Jamaica's shipping capacity and drawn international business. For Jamaica, these projects aren't just infrastructure, they're opportunities to grow the economy and create jobs. In our previous video about Jamaica's tug-of-war, many comments showed that they prefer China over America in regards to our future. And that's a sentiment shared by many Jamaicans. After all, these investments mean tangible benefits. But for Trump and his allies, it's less about Jamaica and more about the bigger game. China's growing presence in the Caribbean is a direct challenge to American dominance. It's like watching your rival set up shop in your favorite rum bar. Not cool. Trump, ever the dealmaker, likely sees Jamaica as a key battleground in this economic Cold War. If China continues to expand its influence unchecked, it's not just about trade, it's about power. And for Trump, power is everything. So, what's his strategy? Pressure. Lots of it.
We don't even know that we have the cards because our leaders don't understand the game. We could turn off that spigot by charging them tax until they behave properly.
Through rhetoric, diplomacy, and even the occasional veiled threat of sanctions.
Skibbly bang, well done, Mr. Politician man. You done a wonderful job at tear down with country demolition, man. Skibbly bang, well done.
For Jamaica, though, it's a balancing act. On one hand, China's investments are transforming the island. On the other, there's a risk of becoming overly dependent on one major power. And let's not forget Uncle Sam watching closely, ready to intervene if things tilt too far in Beijing's favor. So, why does Trump really want Jamaica out of China's hands? Because this isn't just about Jamaica. It's about influence, competition, and the global Game of Thrones. The island may be small, but its role in this geopolitical drama is anything but. If you think this story's spicy, wait until you hear what's coming next. Subscribe now, and let's keep the conversation going. One love, one heart,